Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi. Oh my goodness, it's so scuffed at home, but that's just life right now. Sheesh. But hey, I'm glad that I'm here and that everything's working right now. Gotta at least make a little bit more progress. And then I'll put in a bunch of Arknights for next week. At least 3 for next week would be the goal. Though I also want to see the Mario movie, so I'll see. I gotta look at my schedule. I want to pick a time where it's not going to be so busy for watching the Mario movie. I'm also tempted to buy that Yoshi popcorn bucket because it's cute. But I'll check my app later on to see what kind of seatings there are, the options. Because Mario movie, please. Oh gosh, so much happened first thing. Rip to the one elder. Happy birthday to Oakenberry. And what does Carolin know? I want to know what information she found. And why did she mess with the data? Cause sheesh. So much. So let's see what happens in Lovely Neighbors. The visitor knocks on the door, bringing the food and wine and putting on a show of friendship, waiting for a sign of weakness he can exploit. So edgy. Exploiting such lovely neighbor. Lovely in quotation. Hello.
There they are, the unclean and defiled Monk Carolin and the faith of Shrag. This iron house of foreigners has angered Terragander. O Terragander, on high, forgive our sins.
The sound of praying and sobbing mixed with angry shouting. The sounds weave into a rope connecting tearful, fearful, and angry faces surrounding the newly built observation station. The steel door remains unmoving. A wizened voice cuts through the crowd. Remember the wind wrapping the mountains does not come from nowhere. The wind continues to roar. The old woman walks across the snow to the tightly shut door, her voice clearly heard by the others. It is her breath sweeping down from the snow-white peaks. It is her ever vigilant watch, rising from the deepest valley to the highest cloud. It will drive out the miasm of evil and the parasites that hide amongst the rocks. It brings all the sounds back to her ears so that she will hear, and the mountains bright and clear. Wait, is the door moving?
Yes, they're opening the door. Our protest worked. Open up and hear a voice. Listen to the true voice of Terragander's people. Listen to the voice of Shrag. You're not welcome here. You must leave.
Outsiders off Mount Carolin. Go back to where you came from.
Outsiders off Mount Carolin. Outsiders off Mount Carolin.
The cries grow louder and louder. Someone stretches out and waves toward the sky. Is it the result of sincere prayer, or did the combined force of their invocations cause steel to tremble? The door just opened, dudes. The door opens. All breaths are abated in the silence.
That garb. Are they from Clan Silverash?
The one behind them. The Edelweiss? Did he come to send these outsiders away?
He'd better. They're the ones who brought these people in, and they should be the ones to pick up the mess, but something about his expression.
And hello.
Clear out the protesters. Avoid casualties. Put down your weapons. Back off.
We're not backing off. Why are you telling us to go away? The ones who should go away are... Keep your hands off me. Edelweiss, whose side are you on?
Whose side do you think they're on? Their weapons and shields are pointed towards us. Isn't it clear enough who his friends and enemies are? A blizzard is coming. You should leave before the road is completely blocked. No need to worry about the dangers along the way. Clan Silverash's guards will ensure your safety and bring you back to... Ugh.
Grandma, wait, don't... The old woman forces her arm through the guards' ranks. Her movements are swift and without hesitation. The cold snow splashes upon the library's face. May Terragander forgive your sins. Pity and resolute mercy congregate upon the wrinkled face. Her cold finger touches Gnosis' forehead, leaving behind a simple curved line. A Chirag ritual intended to drive the evil out of a child afflicted by fever. May her miracle drive out the miasma of evil, and the parasites that hide amongst the rocks from you. Remember that the winds of Terragander have visited upon your stubbornness before.
Now you send her away. Go home, madam.
There's no change in Nosa's expression as snow smell flows down his face.
The winds in the mountains are harsh. Don't catch a cold.
He was so cool about it. 120 minutes raw. Chirag, the beautiful paradise, clean and pristine beneath the wind and snow, pious and pure under divine protection. The faith of its people is firm as the mountains, never wavering, or perhaps a single flake of snow is all it takes to begin its collapse. What do you think of the catastrophe? Will it shake your faith in Chiragander?
The faith of Chirag isn't so weak. The people of Chirag have never wavered, even before the toughest trial. I'll set off for Mount Carolin once the catastrophe is cleaned up, and my leg is good again. The sun of Chirag will drive out all corruption and evil, and those who bathe in it need fear neither pain nor illness, nor the stone disease. Chiragander is great, Chiragander is kind. She will never ban Chirag. Everything will go back to the way it was, once you clean up the snow.
Of course, it's all the fault of those Rhinelap people. Everything started going bad when they came. Chirag doesn't need no observation station. All we need is Chiragander's protection. Drive them out. Give me back my peaceful life and my mom and dad. Is there anything I can help? Wait, you're Victorian? Get your pitchforks. Who let this one into the village? Colombians and Victorians. Is everybody making their homes on our turf now? Get lost. You're not welcome here. Who is recording this? Oh, I guess Setsu. Victorian reporter. Phew, this will be tougher than I thought. Do you need some help? Hi, I'm fine. I'm just short on film. I don't suppose I'll be able to find any here. Let me see. You can get this model from the Central Mall in the Silver Ash Lane. Nice pics. Are you a photographer out from Victoria? A reporter to be exact. Good timing. May I get an interview? Who? Me? How do you view the catastrophe that just occurred in Chirag? How do you view your faith when Chiragander no longer protects Chirag from catastrophe? No wonder why they're so mad at you for asking that second question, lady. Like, you don't say it that way. How do you feel that your god abandoned you guys? It's like, ma'am, no. Oh, bruh. I thought I heard you talking about Chiragander and catastrophes from over there. You want to know how Chirag people think? Of course, we came to report on the true Chirag. People in other lands know very little about it, and we want your voices to reach them. There's no need to be burdened by the weight of religion. Liberate yourself from the systematic oppression of rules and tradition, and tell me what you truly feel. Wow, I've never heard so many big words spoken in a single breath. My view on catastrophes is simple. Catastrophes outside Chirag are really bad, and it's the same for this catastrophe in Chirag. People suffer and get hurt everywhere. It makes me sad and I wish these things never happened. As for faith, may I ask a question? Does Victoria have a god too? Victoria? Yes, I'm curious what the god of Victoria is like. Is he really pretty? Does he get angry easily? You've been going around the village asking questions for days, but you don't talk about anything other than Chiragander is angry and Chiragander has abandoned you. So I thought maybe faith to you is something that's colder, harsher. A smile appears in the girl's face, her cheeks rise, and her voice is light and spry. I believe the god Chirag isn't like that. Chiragander is like the people of Chirag, generous and kind. She doesn't get angry over cable cars and factories or light bulbs and books, and she won't throw a tantrum by causing a catastrophe and taking lives. Chiragander isn't petty like that.
Heave ho! One more box, move over!
Newly married man. Oh, I know who this is. Congratulations to him, newly married.
Alright, put it down. You've got room in your truck. We've got another 15 barrels of Bird and Beast milk wine. Can you bring it with you? 15 barrels? You ought to keep it. Can't have a big bar like this, and nothing for guests. The 3 great clans alone have donated plenty of stuff to all the affected village, not to mention the local gentry. A few barrels of wine, more or less, won't make much difference. I don't like to hear that. They can donate, but I can't. Who are you to decide they need it or not. Which of us has actually seen a catastrophe before? But that's too much. It's not. I know you're short on wine. Not only does wine keep people warm, it can also be used in medicine and even to disinfect wounds when necessary. If we had all this stuff back then, well, never mind. Anyway, you're taking it. Not one barrel less, or I'll take it as you saying that I'm not one of you and I don't belong in Chirag. Wait, that's not what I meant. Then take it. Think of it as me doing a favor. As doing me a favor. You know how that father-in-law of mine is like. He's endured hardship all his life, but he's never been stingy when it comes to sharing with the hungry people. Now move aside and let me put that cargo in. Just don't get in any trouble and make him even angrier. I still remember how he huffed and puffed when he proposed to his daughter.
Dang, Dad did not approve.
I thought he was a nice guy who just wanted to help. Turns out he was after my little girl Freya, he said. He said and he was still mad, so he pulled out his cane. Hehe.
Hi, Freya. What are you all chatting so excitedly about? Let's get to work. Dad and I just checked our stock. We still have about 2 truckloads of stuff, mostly dried meat and cheese, plus some butter and herbs. Good thing I caught you before you left Crete. Need to tell Carolin Trey to send another truck here.
2 trucks, I told you, Crete. Fine, suit yourself. You're the only newlyweds I know who'd rather give away their whole storehouse before taking any gifts.
It's a catastrophe after all. It's never happened to Trey. No one knows how bad it is. But now's the time for us to work together and help each other. In Cherigander's name.
In Cherigander's name, we'll work together and pull through.
I like Freya. Let's go back, Lisburn. The wind's getting stronger.
I can't help but have a feeling.
A feeling of what?
A strange feeling that something's about to happen. No, I must be overthinking it.
Well, congratulations to these 2 as well. Oh, hey, Harold. I mean, mysterious figure, who I totally don't know who it is.
Your intuition is as sharp as always. Wait, Harold? Is this real? Am I dreaming? Well, that's certainly an honor. You still remember my name. Looks like you haven't forgotten the time we fought alongside each other. Please, stop making fun of me. What brings you here? What else could it be? We've heard that there's a sort of trouble in Chirag, so we came to offer some warmth, as a good neighbor should. Wow, a whole truck of supplies. A truck? Take another look.
Howard gestures behind himself, and Lisburn sees a long procession of vehicles bearing the Victorian crest, stretching as far as the eye can see.
Some warmth, you say? Well, we're warmer than some other folk, to be sure.
Look at Harold. Colombian ambassador. Hello, ma'am. I must emphasize our concerns regarding this matter, Mr. Silverash. We consider Carolin Trade a reliable partner, and Chirag is a respectable nation. We had hoped that the observation station would be the tip of the spear of our mutual understanding and cooperation. I have to say, at the moment, we're disappointed.
I understand Your Excellency's concerns. Allow me to explain.
No, I don't need an explanation. We understand the unfortunate circumstances that have befallen Chirag, and we express our deepest sympathies. But that is no reason for Chirag mobs to attack innocent Colombian scientists. We're seeing verbal abuse of our scientists, promoting hate and xenophobia. We're outraged by Chirag's contempt for and violation of the safety of other people. Should your government continue to allow the situation to spiral out of control, the Colombian side will take action to ensure the safety of Rhine Lab's researchers by evacuating them, in accordance with our treaty.
Regarding the incident at the Rhine Lab observation station, Carolin Trade personnel have arrived on site and are working to de-escalate the conflict, preventing the situation from further deteriorating. As I understand, there has been no injury to person or property.
Should we thank our lucky stars? Or that public sentiment has not yet reached a boiling point? Should we continue to trust in Chirag's ability to stabilize the situation? Or should that public outrage dissipate overnight? The fireplace cracks, sending forth a wave of warmth, but there is no warmth in the faces in the room. The Colombian ambassador adjusts her posture and raps the table with her finger, speaking in a calm tone. We respect the professionalism, sincerity, and capability that Carolin Trade has demonstrated in the past. Hello. It has allowed our cooperation and scientific collaboration to progress safely up to this point. Now, however, the Columbia's best and brightest are in danger on your land. Danger that they never should have found themselves in. Drag needs to provide a solution, or at least demonstrate a will to resolve the situation.
Victorian Ambassador, Your Excellency cannot ask so much of a developing country.
Sir.
Considering Drag's current circumstances, I find Mr. Silverash's performance thus far quite impressive.
I see that Victoria shows great care for her neighbor.
But of course, a kind neighbor should always be ready to lend a kind hand. Remember the prince of Victorian folklore, who gave his golden crown to a foul beast in the snow.
Hello, hello. The man smiles with an expression of unnatural benevolence. He draws out a piece of paper from his pocket and unfolds it on the table.
Here's a checklist for the first catch of humanitarian assistance. Food, blankets, medicine, spirits, sugar, salt, a team of doctors, and 2 veteran peacekeeping squads. Exactly what Chirag needs right now. This is very generous. Chirag appreciates your kindness. Not mine, this is the kindness of the Empire of Victoria. Our prince had a heart of gold. He would give his prize sword in the same way he would offer gold and silver. It all depends on what you need and what manner of threat you face.
Humph.
There is no need to fear or worry. I'm sure you'll make a decision that is satisfactory to all 3 sides of us. After all, survival is an artful form in the snow realm, is it not, Mr. Silverash?
Gazes beckoning and questioning converge upon a piece of paper and on the silent young man. Hello, hello. For this guy, like, the way he says it, like, it just bothers me. Like, he sounds condescending. Because he's like, you guys are a developing country after all. Give them some slack for these people who are not on our level. They're just little babies compared to us. It's like, gosh darn it, dude. What are your thoughts, Mr. Silverash? And Siotis looks down at the pushed piece of paper and picks it up. Also, it's nice how they're offering so many freebies. Or I'm not even sure if it's freebies. Some nice things after the catastrophe, but the way he had to tell the story beforehand. Our prince gave a crown to a burden beast. You guys are a burden beast to us. Take this. Black and white, nice, neat and clear. There's no deception. Even the names and the squad leaders are listed on the paper. A perfect show of sincerity and pomposity.
I have no reason to refuse, do I? As you said, this is exactly what Chirag needs right now. The supplies will keep the people fed, and the doctors will help us win more battles against illness and death. As for trained soldiers, I'm sure I do not need to expound upon usefulness. To the question that was interrupted, Madam Ambassador, Chirag vowed to protect the safety of each and every researcher at the station when it was first established. That vow has not been broken. I'm not sure why you're so eager to reach the conclusion that Chirag has lost control of the situation. The Vine-Beat Court and Carolin Trade will uphold our end of the bargain. May I ask that you continue to trust in Chirag's ability to deal with our own problems? As for whether that incident in the observation station was an accident, or instigated by those with ulterior motives, I believe that time will tell.
Very well, Mr. Silverash. I look forward to your show of competence. But I must remind you how important the project is to Columbia. We will leave it to be of paramount significance to all Terra. Therefore, the Columbian side will deploy any means necessary to protect our scientists and their findings. Any means necessary.
Indeed, I too believe that the scientific exploration taking place in Chirag belongs to all of Terra. The Empire of Victoria will do our part to maintain Chirag's stability. Of course, I'm sure we're all of one mind on this matter.
The sun shines in through the window, past the shoulder of the Colombian ambassador, and upon the chest of the Victorian ambassador. He stands up from his chair, his back perfectly straight. The discussion seems to have come to a close.
Such a wise decision. It seems all of us have gotten what we wanted.
These meetings are always so tense. But less annoying than the ones that Vina has to deal with. Since Vina has to kind of like kiss ass to them. A bit more than Teotis has to, at least. Like, dang.
Phew. Is the meeting over? How long have you been waiting? Half an hour. I made good use of it going through our reports while I was waiting. Take a seat. If you want a drink, help yourself. Thank you. But I've already helped myself to the tea that you kept on the top shelf. It has been there for a little too long. There's finally time to ask you, what's the situation at Rhine Lab? They have no insights into the catastrophe, as expected. Our people demonstrated enough restraint. There weren't any real attempts at violence. Most satisfied themselves with reciting the Chiragander as they held hands. But I noticed that there were a few people at the front who shouted the loudest, only to disappear into the crowds when they saw the soldiers. Are you concerned? I'm concerned that this may be only the first incident. The observation station is not the only place where conflict is happening. There have been protests and rallies in the domains of the other two clans, strikes at our factories as well. I'm dealing with it. Someone understands that they can use this catastrophe as a weapon. They know the power of the people's will. A trick that you've deployed before, but the weapon is not in your hand this time. You skipped the part where someone threw snow in your face. Is that important? It's the only thing that's unexpected. Did you expect Columbia and Victoria to sit you down for a game of good cop, bad cop? Yes and no. The Columbia's attitude is aggressive, but at the end of the day, its continued cooperation is what they want. The most important thing for them is that the observation station delivers results. As for the Victorians, they're more anxious than we thought. I saw Harold's caravan. I'm sure he's wandering about the streets, telling neighborly stories with his old friends. His wanting to take him to Carolin Trade headquarters in another 20 minutes. I suppose we've already signed and received the goods, and I don't suppose we had a choice. The Pale Roaches and the Browntails will find out soon. As for how they'll take it, let's just say that you should be prepared for the Tri-Clan Council. Getting cold feet? I'm used to it. This nonchalant attitude of yours is why people hate you so much. Thank you for the compliment.
These two.
At the end of the day, however, none of us expected this catastrophe to happen. You can act as unflappable as you like, but don't tell me this disaster hasn't actually faced you. I don't think you're actually that thick. I know. With risk, however, comes opportunity. It's the first catastrophe that Chirag has seen in 1,000 years. Perhaps it's time for certain things that have lasted 1,000 years to change.
And Theotis looks out the window. It starts snowing again, covering the land of Dragon White. The mountain winds continue to blow. They call it the breath of Chiragander, her messenger. It walks every inch of Chirag, bringing all of its sounds back to her ears. She will tell right from wrong, good from evil, friend from foe, piety from falsehood, medicine from poison, and mirth from tears. She'll pass judgment.
There's one thing that you should know. The avalanche caused by the catastrophe destroyed the train station at the foot of the mountain. Strangely, and fortunately, there are fewer people inside the station than expected. It was only in later interviews that we learned that someone had shouted about a bomb in the station, causing the crowd to flee. Who? We don't know yet. But the researcher who disappeared from Rhine Lab remains unaccounted for. If they are one and the same, that she had not cleared the borders of Chirag when the catastrophe occurred, she should still be somewhere in the realm. I see. You're the only one I can count on for this, Gnosis. Find this woman, without triggering a response from Rhine Lab. You're finally starting to look serious. Should I ask why? You'll learn soon enough. But ideally, one should not have to rely on trick plays in the game of chess.
Ooh. So we're gonna have Detective Gnosis. Good luck to him. And ooh, they're gonna go to Circle. Egg Cradler, Foul Beast. Man, these enemies are so cute. I don't want to fight them, they're adorable. They're precious. Oh, look at him running. He's got zoomies. Gosh darn it, why are they so adorable? I want all these enemies, they're too cute. They're some of the cutest enemies we've had in a while. And that's saying a lot. Okay, over here. Yay for having another stage to farm. Okay, a bit more. This way's fine. Ooh, when it comes to the super cute enemies, I always love the ones from Yan. Our poltergeist spirits. Our ink spirits. Those will always be adorable. And then there's the other animal ones like Dolly. But these ones, look at them.
Mission accomplished.
Ooh, you made it! Congratulations! Did you get any good snacks along the way? How's the room situation look for tonight? When the winter nights were long and there was no food to be found, she walked into the forest to look for seeds. No, not this one either. The word catastrophe doesn't even exist in the old Traggy language. Is it possible that we truly have never been struck by a catastrophe before? Or maybe the ancient people couldn't tell catastrophes from normal disasters and mix their records with others. The snowmelt flooded field and pasture. The crops fell into an untimely winter tide. No, none of these sounds like catastrophe. I remember there's another story that she used to tell. When the cold winter night froze the heart of Carolin, the enemy from afar came across the ice. Ooh, Fritos honey barbecue to us, yum! The warrior stood vigil with weapon in hand. At dusk, he saw a terrifying abomination in the mirror-like ice. Radthorn. The warrior ran back to his clan to warn the others, but...
No one but the warrior could see the creature. Nobody believed his words, and so the warrior began to live in fear.
Elder Atso, when did you...
I came after morning prayers. I did not wish to disturb you, so I remained quiet, but I could not resist the urge to speak when you recited a familiar section of the scriptures. I apologize for disturbing you.
It's alright. I thought you were still handling matters of court. The light is dim from Enya's vantage point. Sitting on a high ladder, the great elder's robes seem to blend into the color of the floor. Oh, that's good. No real wait for the bathroom. She cannot see his expression. You must be very busy after taking over as Great Elder. Is everything going well?
You think too highly of an old man like me, great saintess. I've spent most of my life here in the Hall of Writings, and I hardly ever step out of the Vine-Bead Court, not to mention dealing with matters of court. My only claim to this position is my age, and apart from that, I can only do my best.
You're too modest. I haven't had many chances to speak to you, but understand that you are a man of great learning.
You flatter me. The more I study the tomes, the more conscious I am of my own ignorance. We all are, compared to her. But I heard that you had been studying the scriptures for 2 days and nights without rest, so I came to see if I could share the burden.
I like Adso. He seems cool so far. Oh, gotta wake up at 7 AM though because sister's thing's at 10. Ugh. Oh, super duper good luck. And make sure to tell them to go to Porto's. Get some nice pastries. It's good timing. I also have some questions that I would like to discuss with you. She closes the scroll and climbs down. The old wooden ladder creaks as it faithfully connects knowledge in high places and the silent ground. Annie walks out from amongst the bookshelves with scrolls in her arms, sitting down by the spacious table that is already covered in open scrolls. This is what I've compiled over the past 2 days. I searched for any and all records of unusual disasters in Trag, but I've yet to find any evidence of a catastrophe ever having occurred in our borders, and I still haven't been able to find an explanation as to why this catastrophe chose this moment to strike, when there has been nothing particularly unusual about this year's winter. The girl looks up from the scrolls to the Great Elder. However, the old man seems uninterested in the scriptures lying before him. He bows his head, squinting with with the sagged eyelids that lie below his white hair. You do not seem to approve of the studies that I pursued.
No, I dare not be so impudent. You are seeking the truth of the catastrophe, the massive thing that has descended before us, and the fear incarnate. Like digging a path through the mountain or building a bridge over a river, your actions are undoubtedly logical. But to search the entirety of Chirag's history, every little tribulation within the fragments, is an ordeal akin to searching for a grain of salt in the snow by candlelight.
I'm not afraid of ordeals. I must find an explanation for this catastrophe. I must.
I understand. You work for Chirag and take pity on those affected by the disaster. And I can feel there is some other anxious emotion driving you, but perhaps this anxiety has made you short-sighted.
I've never asked you in private, Great Elder Adzo. What do you think of this catastrophe that has struck Chirag?
I must admit that my knowledge is shallow and I'm unable to explain the reason behind this catastrophe, but I agree with what you said a few days ago. Chiragander never promised her people that they would be safe from the threat of catastrophe. Indeed, Chiragander has never made any promises to her people. On the contrary, the scriptures often emphasize that we must not validate her existence through miracles. We believe in her because we believe she is good, that she embodies all that is good. We follow her way such that we can be our better selves.
I agree with you, but I fear the public would not respond well to such an interpretation.
Indeed, reason and insight are a pair of golden shoes that will take you far, but only if your feet can fit them. The day may come when your path of truth is validated, but it is not today.
Then, what do we do?
What do we do? That is a question I do not have an answer for. But you were reciting the story of Radsorn. Let us continue.
Yeah, he seems reasonable so far. I like this elder. The book on the table records a conflict that occurred over water sources. It is an old story, a common refrain in many civilizations. The great elder reaches out and pulls another book from under it. Dust intertwines with the scent of charcoal from the fireplace, like a piece of amber hovering in the air.
The warriors searched far and wide for a way to fight the monster, but even Chiragander could not help the warrior kill a monster that could not be seen. And so she led the warrior back to the frozen lake and spoke to him, saying, "The others cannot fight the monster, for they do not see it. Only you may find the way to defeat it." The warrior was enlightened. The heart of Carolin began to melt, and winter was driven out by spring. Chiragander granted her people with a final blessing. Her tears froze the enemy, becoming 3 eternally frozen peaks.
The first story of the Book of Home in the Chiragander has been subject to various interpretations by scholars for generations. The heart of Carolin likely refers to Lake Sobernerze, and some believe that this warrior, who heeded the words of Chiragander, was the very archetype of the saintess. Opinions differ on the enemy that came across the ice, as for the monster that could not be seen.
Radsorn, a word that has long lost its true meaning, and one of Chirag's most famous bedtime stories. Parents tell the story to children who refuse to go to sleep before tucking them back in. The name is so widespread that most people have forgotten that Radsorn was not an incantation or meaningless babble, but a word with a clear, specific meaning.
Many words lose their meaning over time. At one point, Radsorn was believed to be a loan word that came to Chirag 1,000 years ago, of the same origin as the word catastrophe. If I recall correctly, your work in the Hall of Writings involves decoding and translating imported words that have lost their original meanings.
Research that has, fortunately, borne fruit. The word Radsorn has 2 parts: the short, stopped syllable rad, and the stiff, sibilant syllable sorn.
The fireplace flickers as the great elder draws a line across the page with his finger, leaving a crease of shadow that fades away in a second, cutting in half a mysterious abomination, the likes of which has never been seen before.
The word sword is not hard to understand. It translates roughly to something terrifying or a known monster. It comes from old Ursine dialects spoken in Chirag, which are still used by some of the older generation. It serves as an anchor for exploration. Rad comes from Victorian, sharing an etymology with the word radlith, which means blind or short-sighted. 5 centuries ago, a famous playwright from County Hillock penned a word in his play, The Rose of Shaw.
Radlith, which means unseeable, a place of darkness.
Yes, so you've seen the manuscript and the comments on it. Unfortunately, I was young at the time. I left those comments and my knowledge deficient. I have pored over many pages in the years that followed, which granted me sufficient knowledge to discover and address the errors of my past.
The room is silent except for the sound of pen writing on paper, soft as the sound of a tiny bug crawling across the page. The word reads Radsorn, the two etymologically different roots separated from each other, with a circle around Rad.
It is indeed a place that is unseeable, a place of darkness that one cannot discover on one's own. It means the heart.
Then the meaning of Radsorn is the terrifying thing in the heart of man.
Exactly.
The warrior saw his inner demons upon the lake. Others could not see it because no one else can know your own fears, and Shirogane was powerless as well, because the only thing that can defeat one's inner demons is oneself. What is truly terrifying is not the disaster that we can see and feel, but the monsters in our hearts.
You're wise, Saintess, and the sages realized this 1,000 years ago. Now, this catastrophe that has struck Chirag is also a Radsorn which only Chirag can see.
But now, there's no Chiragander to lead the Lost Warrior.
Why do you say so? Chiragander could not help the people fight their demons, for she is absolutely good. Without the flaws of man, the darkness that clouds the people's hearts does not exist in her. So she chose a saintess from among the mortals and bestowed upon her the power to fight Radsorn. Only she is always at Chiragander's side. The snow washes her eyes, her piety judged by ice. She hears the guidance of Chiragander and cherishes the love of the people. Only she can dig open the ice and soil and make a path for the people to drag out of their heart's maze, such that Chiragander will return to us. That is what the people of Chirag have believed for centuries. Only the saintess may atone on their behalf, on behalf of the children of Chiragander.
Ugh! So much work for the saintess. Good luck, saintess. The great elder places his hands on his knees and bows his head in an imploring gesture. The saintess of the Phi-MD court sits on the other side of the candle. The flame flickers and the wick grows long. You're proposing a pilgrimage.
It is time for the noon prayers. I'm afraid I must take my leave, Saintess.
One moment. Elder Atso,
Saintess.
something you said caught my attention. You said Chiragander has never made any promises to her people, and that she does not rely on miracles to demonstrate her existence to her believers. Do you believe that Chiragander doesn't exist?
No. Of course Chiragander exists. Look at our bodies, our faces, and hear our own language. Every tree and grass, rock and brick in Chirag is proof of Chiragander's existence. Of course, some hope for a divine spectacle from our god to affirm our own faith. But if a god truly stood before us, answering our every call, what need would remain for faith? This is the first thing that every believer should know. For you to bring this up now,
Never mind, I misspoke. The old man silently bows and leaves. He disappears through the door like a speck of dust brushed off a page. It's all up to you, Saintess. Oh no, it's another meeting. Ugh, from one meeting to another meeting.
I see you've beaten me here. Did the two of you summon me to discuss disaster relief? What the hell is this, Enciotis?
Artos tosses a package bearing the Victorian crest on the table.
A supply package containing the day's ready-to-eat rations, as well as emergency medicine. Don't play the fool, I'm asking. Why are there so many Victorians in Chirag at a time like this? The reporters are babbling all over the place. Soldiers dressed in workers' garb everywhere. I saw more Victorians than burden beasts on my way here. Don't tell me you don't know about this. I'm well aware that Carolin Trade has been handing this stuff out. The Phi-MD court never enacted a ban on Victorians entering Chirag. Besides, Victoria's help has been substantial in our present situation. What would it do to Chirag's international reputation if we rejected a country's assistance for no reason at a time like this, let alone expelling our visitors? Some bloody help! Do you think we can't overcome this catastrophe on our own, without those hypocrites pretending to be good neighbors?
The teacup on the table ripples, sending part of its contents splashing onto the wooden surface. It faintly reflects the heads of the three clans, like three mountains of different heights.
Besides, what kind of help can the Victorians bring? Oh, I remember that man Harold helped, didn't he? Drinking with our people, chatting them up, going into the pens, treating the beasts, and delivering new foals. He made the burden beasts fat and plump. People say he's a Victorian, but he's not a bad guy. And what happened? What did he do at Lake Sobernerze? Here I thought you were supposed to be the smart one in Ziotis, but you couldn't even learn that lesson. I'm telling you, no matter what the Silver Ashes and Browntails think, not one Victorian will set foot on the Pale Roche land from this day forth. I don't care about your political goals or international reputation. I won't let the Victorians have their way on Chirag soil.
Calm down, Arktosh. Are you gonna fight amongst yourselves before we've dealt with the foreigners?
Then, what do you think, Radatos?
The fireplace continues to crackle. Radatos's voice is calm, the dark rings around her eyes showing the toll that the past few days have taken on her. This time, I'm with Arktosh. You deal with the Victorians the most. You know their ways, especially at a time like this. Victoria does not show kindness to Shrag for no reason. The aid could turn into a poison pill at any time. All the cases we've seen over the past few years, well, part of it had nothing to do with foreigners. You of all people should understand the risks.
I completely agree, Radatos. But we must not forget that, while stagnation may be the least risky course of action at present, it is also the surest way to doom. Setting people at a time like this, Victoria is testing us. They're hoping that we will fall apart on our own. It has taken so long and so much for Chirag to finally see the results of reform. To close the doors again at this junction would be to lay waste to all that we've done over the years. You're set on dealing with the Victorians. You have my word. Carolin Trade is taking responsibility for establishing contact with the other nations. We will handle Chirag's relationship with Victoria.
How can you be so sure?
As you said, Victoria's never given up on exploiting us. Have they ever succeeded, though?
Then look again. Like you're always in control, always so full of yourself. Chirag is changing, not just the changes that you've brought about, but also the changes that brought about by catastrophe and by progress. Nothing stays the same forever. That's true of your past successes too.
And it's true of the great powers' lofty perch.
My dear Gander, I hope you know what you're doing. In the distance, the evening prayer bell tolls at the Vine Court, echoing amongst the pillars.
Sir Theodos, the Saintess requests your presence at the Hall of Lectures. The Saintess? It seems we'll have to continue this conversation another day.
Next meeting!
Even if we have not reached an accord, do not forget that it was a decision of the Vineby Court to open up Chirag to foreign dialogues. To cross the line now is to defy the Vineby Court and the Saintess herself. Humph, don't try to keep my head down with some tough words. But remember this, my eye is open, and I won't allow anyone to do anything that will harm this land. There's no length that I won't go to protect Chirag.
Do remember, Sir Theodos, that your decisions affect more than just your domain and your company. This whole nation will be affected. I hope Chirag will not pay the price for your pride.
No one can make Chirag pay as long as their people remain united. Excuse me.
Your visitor's here, Saintess. Wait at the door. Do not allow anyone to enter without my permission. Yes, Saintess.
For what purpose have you summoned me? You summoned me, Saintess.
Nothing important. I just realized that it has been some time since your presence last graced the hall lectures.
If I'm being charged with impiety, then I have no defense. I will come to hear your lectures each week once the current crisis has passed.
I know you're a busy man, but I've rarely seen you so fatigued. I take it these matters at hand have been troubling.
I'm sure you understand that the people have been restless in the aftermath of the catastrophe. There is much to be done, but the Vineby Court will only grow busier. Take care.
Theodos gestures under his eyes with his finger. Enya sees it, but says nothing. The fire burns bright in the fireplace, its warmth reaching the eyebrows and noses of the Silver Ash siblings, warming their pale and alike complexions. They are not looking at one another, but towards a solemn statue. I saw Arknights today. He looked out of sorts as he greeted me. Even Ratatos did not seem her normal self. It won't be the first time that the three of you have fought. But a situation like this, I haven't seen in a long time. What happened?
Temporal matters that you need not worry yourself about.
Then please tell me, what are the temporal matters that trouble Trag? Is it the Victorians?
Yes and no. They immediately sent a large relief effort to Trag as soon as news about the catastrophe got out. The Colombians also learned about the incident at the observation station and threatened to send troops to protect and evacuate their scientists. They're paying close attention to this catastrophe, each for their own reasons.
So they understand Trag better than we think. They know well that this catastrophe means to Trag.
The politicians smell chaos and see it as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to extend their influence to Trag. We know that Victoria has been doing far more within our borders for a long time. They have simply stopped trying to hide it. I have a good guess as to who is behind Victoria's movements. Her plot is not hard to decipher. It is simply the instincts of a politician.
Thank you, Auntie. Totally, Auntie. With Vina and Siota's company, with these meetings by their own country with Vina, she has to be on guard with fellow nobles in high positions. Yup.
If I were in her shoes, I'd agree that it would be but another chess piece to move.
You know I don't like you when you get like that.
I apologize. I spoke out of turn in this holy place.
Why do you keep putting yourself in the plotter's seat, treating everything around you as chess pieces or bargaining chips? Do you enjoy games like this?
This is a reality, one that florid words cannot conceal. If we want to be strong, independent, even sit as equals with the great powers at the same table, then we must play it by the same rules.
Is this the most absurd part of it? Trag is not the only country that preaches virtue and goodness. Those politicians, too, play the part of leaders and teachers in their own country. They're hypocritical and deceitful, but they teach their people to be honest and sincere. They're avaricious and insatiable, but they teach their people to be gentle and kind. I ask then, Sir Siotas, are the virtues that I preach to the people of Trag as saintess, and the tenets of the scriptures, all lies and nonsense to you?
And yeah.
The fire flickers as a charred piece of wood snaps in two. The name buried for so many years is once again uttered by Silver Ash. Sir Siotas, would you have come to me today if I did not summon you with the authority of the saintess?
Trag faces an unprecedented crisis. One wrong step and we may never recover. We need unity more than ever, and the authority of the saintess is crucial at a time like this.
I see you finally recognize the importance of faith to our people.
I never denied it. Faith in Tergander is fundamental to us. We cannot even begin to talk about this land without it.
Yes, more than one person has said as much to me. But when we view faith from the perspective of gain and loss, have we really paused to think if our history, free from the threat of catastrophe, was a mere coincidence?
There is no point in discussing whether it was a miracle or not. What happened happened. The only thing we can do now is to calm the people.
On this, at least we are in agreement.
It's not an easy thing.
Then, I should begin my pilgrimage as a saintess.
What?
I set out early tomorrow morning. The news will be known all across Trag by dusk.
Was this a Phi-MD court's decision?
It was my decision.
The pilgrimage takes place in spring or autumn. Has a pilgrimage ever taken place in the middle of winter?
Has a catastrophe ever occurred in Trag? We don't have time.
You know how dangerous this is.
Of course I do. But how else do we calm the people's fear of catastrophe? How do we make them believe that Tergander will forgive their transgressions? There will be no companion, no temporal possessions, no carriages, no rest. The saintess shall circle the land of Trag on foot, atoning for the sins of all the people, and praying for Tergander's forgiveness. It will take 3 months if all goes well. More than one saintess has died on the journey. Sheesh!
Then why do you...
Brother. The young woman pauses for a moment, then continues like the snow melting into the river, flowing down the peaks of Matterhorn. They're surrounded by warmth, like those winter afternoon naps they took together when they were children. The distant shadows of the past return, trying to find the children who have grown up, find traces of the past on their faces. As Enya of Clan Silverash, I never forgave the choice that you made. As a saintess of Trag, however, I am glad that there is still something I can do. I know. It is not just the guidance of faith that Trag needs. Indeed, misunderstandings about faith have hindered us for too long. The changes that you brought about, the factories, the railways, the trade, and the station that watches the sky, are all things that can lead our people out of the prison of the mind. Trag needs change. You must not stop. What I must do is to convince the people that what is happening is not because they did anything wrong. That there is salvation from their sufferings. There's only one salvation in the minds of the people, and only one capable of carrying the burden. I must fulfill my duty as Chirag's saintess.
You summoned me to inform me of your decision.
Of course, I'm not asking for your opinion. You cannot stop me, nor do you have any reason to. I leave the matters of the three clans back to themselves while I'm away from the Phi-MD court. Please make the necessary preparations to avoid any trouble. And take care of Ensia while I'm away. Don't leave her in fear.
Ensia isn't a child anymore. She won't be so easily frightened. I'm more concerned about...
It's getting late, Sir Theotis. You should go and make preparations.
Is this an order to leave?
If you've understood it, you should act on it.
As you bid. I take my leave.
Theotis bows reverently to the saintess and exits, as he has done so many times before. In the middle of winter for her 3-month journey. Ugh. Molly, wait for me. The ball hits the wall of a farmhouse and bounces back to the feet of the boy, who waves at the girl trying to catch up to him.
Come on, you're always so slow.
He kicks the ball several meters away. The girl grumbles and chases after it. The children are getting some rare free time. In this foothill village with only a couple dozen households, the children whose parents are too busy to watch are playing in the center of the village.
As you know, the saintess has begun a pilgrimage for our people. This village is her final stop before she ascends the mountain. Remember what I told you, change into clean clothes and do not disturb the saintess when you see her. Am I clear? Will the saintess really be able to summon Tiragander back to us, father? My wife is working in the city, and I haven't heard from her since the disaster. People in the nearby villages say Sir Ziotis has put a blockade around the scene, and no one knows what is happening. Do not worry, Bauer. This is exactly why the saintess is embarking on her journey. Tiragander will not abandon any of her children. But all of us here in this village have already been abandoned, haven't we? None of the young folk have been willing to stay on the farm since Carolin Trey started their business. Let me tell you, if Bauer didn't go lame when he was little... Hey, is this all you have to say when the father and I have been taking care of you since your son left for the city? And I haven't heard a peep from him since the disaster. I'll be damned if I got anything else to say. Alright, let's not argue if the saintess in the saintess's presence. Bauer, you should go check on old Carl. He said he wanted to catch a glimpse of the saintess, even if he had to crawl on all fours. Help me talk him out of...
Trag Village Lookout. I see the saintess, father. She'll be here soon.
What? It's much sooner than expected. Alright, let's go wait by the roadside. And brighten your faces.
A few dozen villagers line the roadside, turning their faces to the distance, from whence the saintess is approaching. The cleric averts his eyes subconsciously, nervously rubbing his palms with his fingers. He was assigned to this village by the Phi-MD court 20 years ago, and has never seen the saintess outside the portraits. The footsteps approach. He focuses his entire attention on his facial muscles, hoping to leave a good impression on the saintess. Bam! Oh! Molly, you fool! Look what you've done!
What the? Blasted, I forgot about you two! Are you alright, saintess? Molly, Come and apologize to the Saintess.
I'm sorry, Saintess. It's alright, just a ball. It didn't hurt at all. I still have to continue the ritual. Can you go home? Are your parents here?
Saintess.
Mom and Dad died a long time ago. My home is in the temple. I'll, go home then, Father.
Go. I'll have you copying scriptures if you cause any more trouble.
Sob.
I deeply apologize, Saintess.
How many children like him are here in the village?
I've taken in 9. Some are orphans, while others were entrusted to me by their parents who went to the city to find work. But we haven't heard from them since the disaster. Saintess, do you know what's happening with this disaster? When can my wife come back? What did I tell you, Bauer? Has Shirogane really abandoned us? Enough.
She would never do that. In these days of hardship, we must remember, believe, and trust that she is kind and just. I will do my best so that your prayers and the prayers of all Trag will be heard by her once again. Please, trust me. In Shirogane's name.
By Shirogane, she will protect us and protect the Saintess.
After a moment of silence, the villagers bow their heads together behind the cleric in a gesture of reverence. They have chosen to believe. The Saintess nods and departs again. The snowy peaks in the distance await. What a start to her journey. Dang though, they haven't heard anything from their people. I bet it's because that one train station's down. It's probably more difficult to get letters across. Plus, if there's more blizzards, then oof, they need some really, really good messengers in that case. So good luck to whoever has to deliver things. I'm gonna assume courier. And now, pilgrimage through Blizz. Among snowy shrubs, new friends bring opportunities if you seize a day. New friends, eh? Oh, are we gonna have another meeting?
Madame Ratos, I bring a message from my master regarding the meeting of the 3 clans a few days ago. The Pale Roach's stance towards the outsiders is firm. We can never be too careful regarding the faithless. We must be even more vigilant now, with the Saintess out on a pilgrimage and state affairs referred to the 3 clans. My master does not think ill of Cerciotis, but it's true that Clan Silverash has been too close to Victorians. We do not know if he has any other intentions. My master has chosen to communicate with you. As he sees you as a woman who has always upheld Chirag's traditions, he is happy to meet with you in person if you have any thoughts you would like to share.
Are you finished? Out of respect for Artosh, please bring this message back to him. I don't know if Artosh is harboring a grudge because the catastrophe occurred on Pale Roach soil, and I don't care. But the last meeting, we reached the conclusion that none of us should make a move without direction from the Phi-MD court. While the Saintess is absent, the best thing we can do for the nation is to take care of our own business and avoid causing more issues. That'll be all. Straight to the point, Ratos.
I see there is no avoiding these issues.
I apologize, but this little thing is no cause for concern. Let us return to the topic at hand. Long-term cooperation between premium Victorian clothing brands and Clan Browntail. I like her priorities when it comes to getting foreign stuff. She's like, I want the fashion. My clan will be the most beautiful.
No, wait. With all due respect, Madame Browntail, I'm afraid this is not an issue I can ignore. If the people of Chirag are so hostile to Victoria, how are we to believe that any cooperation can last?
Our 3 clans may have our differences, but I'm the sole representative of Clan Browntail. You can take my word of that.
This conflict between the 3 clans, I suppose it's not hard for Victorian to understand, not at all. I've made great efforts to learn about Chirag during my time here. Your culture is exotic and fascinating. While all of Chirag is united by your Chiraganer faith, the same tenets seem to have had different influence on the 3 clans. The brave Pale Roaches, The clever Silver Ashes, but you Browntails. I must apologize that I find it hard to summarize your virtues in a single word. I suppose the way I would put it is that Clan Browntail is noble and trustworthy.
My sympathies for the homework you have to do.
Knowledge is the foundation of cooperation. Her Grace, the Duke, values cooperation with Shrag highly, and she's looking for a reliable, proper representative of your land to work with.
A representative drag? Is Her Grace unsatisfied with Carolin trade?
Mr. Silverash is a most astute businessman, but this is also his greatest flaw. He will not permit any other winner in his game. I am sure you understand, as his neighbor.
Humph, a keen summary.
Therein lies the problem. The three clans may equally be Chirgana's children in name, but in the eye of an onlooker like me, they are not. Even an outsider like me can tell that your clan and the Pale Roaches have had virtually no effective roles in response to this catastrophe. The Silver Ashes and Carolin trade have not only monopolized Shrag's foreign commerce, but also all of her foreign affairs. And your nominal head of state, the Saintess, Mr. Silver Ash's sister, seems to have no objection to the present situation.
Mind your words, sir. Do not presume to blaspheme the Saintess's piety with your prejudice.
Oh, I apologize if my frankness has offended you. Please understand that I am speaking out of good faith and simply conveying what I have observed as an outsider.
Cut to the chase. What's your proposal?
A simple one. Victoria is seeking friendly, equal, and truly mutually beneficial cooperation. Effective, long-term cooperation, not one that only benefits one side or limited by narrow-minded nationalism.
This guy is kind of funny. He's trying his best to sweet talk her, but he's failing so bad. It's like, dude, this isn't gonna go the way you want it to.
Her Grace thinks highly of Clan Browntail, and of you personally. My presence here is proof of that.
The opinions of foreigners is of no importance to Clan Browntail. Your promise is the very proof of the shifting nature of Victoria's position. You're wrong if you think Clan Browntail is simply another Clan Silverash, but easier to manipulate.
No, of course not, Madame Ratos. The Empire of Victoria does not seek subservience or dependence. She seeks to do the right thing. Clan Silverash is a window that is sometimes open, sometimes closed. Only those inside the room can truly know its contents. Tell me, Madame Browntail, are you not tired of the constant, meaningless tribal conflicts that haunt this land? Or perhaps, you aspire to lead Shrag into a new era yourself?
I think that will do it for today. Thank you for your visit. I fully understand your proposal and have a message for you to bring back to the Duke. She does not yet have a sufficient understanding of Shrag, but I sincerely hope she will one day find it.
Noted. Unfortunately, any commercial cooperation must remain on hold while political issues remain unresolved. But we have plenty of patience for an important partner such as yourself. We look forward to your answer.
Rattatos is just like, I only want fancy clothes trade. I don't want any of this other BS you're mentioning. Dear Encia, I hope this letter finds you well. By the time you read this, you have already learned of my decision. Don't worry. Think of it as your sister going on a long trip. She'll be back before you know it. I'm sorry that we'll have to put our plans for fondue in the Vineby Court's kitchen on hold, but I promise I'll be good as my word once I get back. Don't worry about Enciotis either. He has plans. He has his plans, though he might be busy for a while. We'll count on you to take care of things at home, alright? There are a lot of things going on. Stay safe and be especially careful when going out. I hope I'll find you as cheerful as always when I return. I'll pray to Chirgana for both of you. P.S. Remember to keep your appointments at Rhodes Island, follow your doctor's orders, and wear protective gear when climbing the mountains.
A letter from Enya?
Yeah, it's always like this. Same for Ziotis, it's quite enough at home to begin with, and ever since I came back from my trip, he's barely been around.
These are exceptional times. They're doing all they can to protect Shrag. All we can do is trust them and support them.
I know, I just wanted to blow off some steam. They still treat me like a little kid. Like a kid, never telling me anything. I don't even know what I'm worrying for. I want to help them too. Lady Encia, Master Chester, is Sir Ziotis here? He's probably at the office, why? A herald has arrived from the Phi-MD court. They said they're meeting with Clan Pelrose to discuss cooperation in the joint mining venture, and they want Sir Ziotis to submit the relevant documents early.
I have the documents, but submit them early. Is this a temporary notice?
The herald didn't explain.
Very well, prepare the car. I'll go.
Before he can finish, NC grabs the documents and runs out the door. You can stay home, Uncle Chester. Let me handle it.
Hensia, come back! Sir Ziotis said that you are not to go outside without permission.
It's alright, and Siotis must have forgotten to bring these with him. I'll have a good laugh at him later. Come on, let's go.
Oh dear. I should let Sir Ziotis know.
It should be fine. How bad can this go? Nah, I feel like she'll do good. Since she did good with that reporter, I feel like she is very eloquent. A brown car is driving on the mountain path to the Phi-MD court. Sitting in the back seat, Arknights rubs his neck.
Yawn. Why call me over so early in the morning? Is the mine thing so urgent? I hear Sir Ziotis often stays overnight at the company these days. An early morning meeting would fit his recent routine. Humph. It's not like there's much to discuss. I'm just waiting for the Silver Ash documents to sign off on. Give me the minutes from the last time, Gulo. I'll take another look. Yes, sir.
Sitting in the passenger seat, Gulo takes the documents from the glove box and is about to hand them to Arknights when the car is violently jolted. Uh-oh.
Gah! What was that? Falling rocks! They almost hit us! Falling rocks? Here?
Uh-oh. The car is once again violently jolted before he could finish, as falling rubble slams against the truck.
It's not safe inside. We need to get out, sir. The road is blocked. By fan.
The three of them abandon the car and run to the mountainside, but the amount of falling rubble is overwhelming.
Look out.
A rock falls towards Arknights. Gulo pushes him out of the way and is struck by the sharp edge of the rock on his forehead. Oof! His massive frame falls on the ground, bleeding. Arknights crawls towards Gulo and pulls him closer to the mountain, leaving a long trail of blood on the ground. The blood is soon covered by the falling rocks.
Gulo! Gulo!
The tranquility of the mountain is broken by the roaring sound of engines as the morning mist disperses. Tranquility is not what Dagenbreaker seeks right now. She pushes her bike to its limits. The scenery flies by swiftly, but she does not see what she's looking for. The tracks are still visible on the road. The target was here not long ago.
There.
Dagenbreaker jumps off the bike and rounds a corner. What has she found? Two cars are burning on the road after collision, sending rancid smoke skywards. Dagenbreaker pulls her weapon and creates a gust that extinguishes the fire, revealing the familiar silhouette of a Silver Ash car. The door is easily cut open. There is no one inside. Dagenbreaker's worst fears have not come true. She hears the sound of rocks clashing from the direction of a cliff. Okay, yeah, if Uncle was in there, that would have been so bad. But because NC as an operator, she got this. She knows how to handle herself in a fight. Dagenbreaker looks down at the source of the sound and finds the one she is looking for, despite the dirt and soot on her face. Dagenbreaker! Hanging off the side of the cliff with a hook, NC looks up at Dagenbreaker, unsure how to hide her embarrassment. I guess I screwed up. Her kingdom promises not tomorrow. Nor was it built for yesterday. Those who walk the present are closest to her. Her blessings are ever beneath the traveler's feet. The snowflakes stick to her fur collar. The lone traveler pulls her hood tighter and walks up the mountain, against the cold wind that blows through the forest. Anya pulls her cloak tighter around herself. Her steps slowed by falling branches mixed with snow. The clerics often say that Tirgander tests her people with wind and snow, but Enya knows that she would never torment her like this. Char. The saintess sees the smoke of a campfire deep in the woods. Perhaps there's a place to rest. Enya walks towards it and finds the fire still burning, providing a rare source of warmth. She reaches out to it at once. The hides hanging around shows that it belongs to a hunter. Short shrubs surround the lone wooden house, but the owner is nowhere to be seen. Then one of the shrubs rustles. The tip of a metal bolt protrudes from it, pointing towards a campfire. Who's there? And it turns around quickly, but not quick enough to avoid the bolt that strikes her right leg, soaking her thick clothing with blood. This is just day one of her journey. She raises her bell instinctively as she stumbles from the pain. The attacker has emerged from the bushes, aiming his next bolt at the Saintess's heart. Whoosh. The attacker falls as the bell rings, his body quickly covered in snow. Slowly, the small lump turns red. It was not the holy bell that did this. Enya gets closer and sees a crossbow bolt in the attacker's neck. A rough hand, small but strong, grabs Enya's shoulders and pulls her to one side. Another bolt culls through the air, taking down another attacker, but more of them continue to emerge from the forest. Ho-shop bandits! How dare you commit murder at my camp while I'm away? A young huntress, carrying a heavy crossbow that seems too big for her, stands in front of Enya. She smells of herbs and cloud beast. Stop daydreaming. You're Silver Ash. What are you doing here? Never mind, stay close to me. Does she not recognize that she's a saintess? Though she's really doing in the mountain. Ooh, turtles. Frost turtles. Okay, no fear. Okay, this way for now. That'll potentially hurt, but it's okay. Oh, that's a fun placement. I like that. Oh, I should have put her closer. Oh well. She could have went to the other side. Too late. If anything, that's her future me to worry about. Oh no, I just realized the place where I put her. Oops. Yeah, this is gonna hurt. You me? Oof. That was 1000% my bad. But over here is fine. Silver Ash, do some work. She can barely reach that. Or some of that, which is good. Well, explosion. Actually, wait, that's fine. Like, they're definitely causing some issues. I feel like anti-caster would not be this petty. Well, Mr. Ambassador thinks they're weak and wants to exploit their weaknesses. This is my home. Last I saw, they were going the opposite way. It's safe here. I'll wrap you up and then you need to leave. Thank you, Don't talk and don't fidget, Silver Ash. Your wounds aren't that bad. There was some distance and your thick clothes absorbed some of the impact. But the bolt is hooked as a hooked head. It'll hurt when I pull it out. I'll try to be steady. The young huntress snaps the arrow shaft and grabs the remaining part. She glances at the wounded woman, who simply nods, showing no sign of fear. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. The huntress takes a deep breath and slowly pulls the arrow. Even she shivers at the sensation of the hook grating against flesh. Like, have you ever went fishing? Just having fingers pricked by fishing rods, or not fishing rods, the hooks themselves already pain. This is worse. She does her best to keep her hand steady until the arrowhead is completely pulled out. Phew, finally. Thank you very much. I'm not done yet. Hang in there a little longer. She takes out a packet of powdered medicine, lifts the edge of Enya's dress, and rubs it skillfully on the wound before bandaging it up. You can yell if it hurts. I won't laugh. I don't want to make you more nervous. It'll only hurt more if your hands are shaking. Humph. Huh? A slender snow-white cloud beast pokes its head out of the huntress's hood, hanging onto her braids with its claws and poking its wet nose around Enya's fur collar. Then it reaches out to sniff at the stranger's scent. Don't touch it. It doesn't like strangers. Before the huntress can finish, Enya's fingers already reach the little cloud beast's chin. Simply touching its soft fur seems to bring warmth to her heart, even in the bitter cold. Cute! Get back in, Rift Cloud Beast. You call it the Rift Cloud Beast? Come to think of it, I don't know your name yet, my hero. Joanna. I don't need to know your name, Silver Ash. Don't think for a moment that we're friends. Why? You've been good to me. And how have you people treated me? Forget it. Nothing to do with you anyway. By you people, do you mean Clan Silver Ash? Or Ensiotis? Not just him. My dad says the Silver Ashes have been obsessed with blaspheming Turgander ever since Ensiotis' father was clan leader. He poured asphalt on Turgander's backbone and poisoned Turgander's tail. His greed led to his downfall. Ensiotis hasn't learned his lesson. He's done even more to wreck Turgander's peace. But his greatest sin was the hole he dug in Turgander's flesh. This disaster is proof that Silver Ash has angered Turgander. But Jirai can't stay in the snowy mountains forever. Haven't industry and trade brought us better lives? Why would the kind Turgander punish us just because we're living better lives? Better lives? You Silver Ashes sit by the warm fireside, eating the best food and drinking the best wine. But who has to pay the price? Us. We do. Many beasts lived at the foot of the mountains when I was little. For 1,000 years, they lived off the land, drank from the rivers, and went back to the forest to find berries and leaves. But Carolin Trade's railroads divide the mountains and rivers, forcing the beasts to risk their lives crossing the railway. You even blame them when your trains run them over. The beasts were forced to move higher, but there isn't enough room there for large packs. They had to fight each other for space and food, and their numbers dwindled. Not to mention all the cloud beasts that are sensitive to noise. You have no idea how many died and how I ended up taking in my Rift Cloud Beast. But the farmers by the mountains need the fertilizers and seeds that the trains bring, and sick people in the mountains need medicine. Where's the bountiful game that Turgander once gifted us then? The beasts grow fewer each year. Even water from the springs is less sweet. My family made a living hunting in the mountains for generations, following the holy teachings of Turgander, and we show our faith by sculpting statues in her image. Dad, myself, and my siblings, we've always prayed to Turgander, always paid our respects. Why are we the ones that have to pay the price? Spooked by the sudden outburst, the Rift Cloud Beast leaps down from a trembling Joanna and goes over to Enya. Enya bends down and lifts it up, placing it back on Joanna's shoulder. Don't move or your wounds will reopen. This is the first time I've heard about any of that. If you want to argue, go ahead, Silver Ash. No, I don't. I'm different from the others. I have to stay at home most of the time, and what I know about the land today comes mostly from the accounts of others. Sometimes, I go out and experience things for myself, but it's not enough. Turgander will never abandon any children of Turag, I promise. Humph. You better promise yourself that you pull through whatever's going on. What was with those bandits anyway? I know all the hunters living on the mountain. I didn't even recognize any of those guys. I think they came for me. For you? Do you have enemies? It's a long story. If that's the case, you better stay put tonight. They won't give up so easily. My dad's friend has a shop in town, and my siblings have been helping out these past few days. I'll go get some medicine from him and get help to fight the bandits. No, don't. Why? Are you afraid to be on your own? I'm fast and strong. I can be back by tomorrow morning if I go down the mountain now. That's not what I'm worried about. Why? You silver ashes are such a bother. If you have something to say, just say it. If you can't fight, I have no choice but to get help from town. That's the deal. Wait, I can tell you. And you hurriedly gets up, tugging at the sleeve of the huntress who's about to leave, causing her own cloak to fall off. The Saintess? She didn't know. Wow, she really didn't know. Then again, I guess she doesn't go to the town often to see the portraits of the Saintess. All the many, many portraits. Like, sheesh. I do wonder what side the assassins are from. The Saintess? Actually, I'm sorry. Please, Your Holiness, punish me for my insolence. No, I'm not going to punish you. Please just sit down. Enya tries to stop the huntress, but she quickly takes a step back, putting more distance between herself and Enya. She turns to leave, but then seems to remember something, and spins back around and bows reverently to Enya, before finally leaving the room. Huh.
General Gulo, could you knock off the chape door before barging in, Matterhorn boy? What are you doing here? I was accompanying Lady Encia for a checkup. She suffered a car accident this morning, but fortunately she's unharmed. I was told you were here too, so I thought I should pay a visit. Are you alright? Just a scratch, but... Wait, you said something happened to the young Silverash lady? Lady Encia was delivering something to Sir Otis when she suffered a head-on collision with another vehicle on the way to the Phi-MD court. It was fortunate that Madame Dagenbreaker quickly arrived on the scene. You said she was going to the Phi-MD court too? Strange. My master received a summons from the Phi-MD court this morning, saying there was a meeting and that it was on the way there that we were struck by falling rocks.
I think that was a forged letter, my dudes. I don't think it was actually the Phi-MD court.
Did you hear anything from the Browntails? No, not yet at least. What's the matter with the Browntails? No wonder Sir Arktosh was fuming when he left. I haven't seen him so angry in a long time. But this Arg! Listen, brother, I need you to do me a favor. Can you ask Sir Otis to go to the Browntail Manor at once? Sir Arktosh is even more hot-headed than I am. I'm afraid he might do something impetuous. Sir Otis is the only one who can stop him. I see. I'll let him know immediately.
I suggest you get your head checked at the hospital, Arktosh. The symptoms of a mild concussion are easy to miss.
Don't try to change the subject. Answer me. Why is it that only Clan Silverash and mine were attacked, while you Browntails sit safe and sound in your home? What do you know?
Everything that I know about what happened today came from you.
More excuses. Even the servants of Silverash knew to show concern and tell me that Encia suffered too. But what about you? You look like you couldn't care less, like it's nothing more than a piece of snow falling on the ground. Is this a Browntail stance?
Dude, her sister just gave birth like a few days ago. Of course she's not going out and about a lot. I apologize for my demeanor. How Jirag has suffered in recent days. I ask for your understanding.
Enough of this hypocrisy. We both know that there's been a gossip going around about the Browntail witch. I never took it seriously. I couldn't care less what you did, as long as you did it for a dragon Chirgander. But now, when did Chirgander teach you to stab your allies in the back, Ratos?
Watch your words, Arktosh. Do not disrespect Chirgander, even if you intend to insult and provoke me.
Stop dodging the question and answer. Was Clan Browntail involved in the attack of me and Encia?
You're wasting your time. I've already told you multiple times. I know nothing about it, and I express my sympathies.
If that's your final answer, then don't accuse me for going too far.
What do you mean?
Don't think I'm out of pale roaches just because you took Gulo out of action. Before I went out, I told my men when to show. Clan Browntail's estates will be thoroughly searched. I didn't want to go this far, but I'm afraid Sirius and her children will have to bear with me a little.
You dare?
You made me do this, Ratos.
What do you mean she made you do this? She said, no, I was not involved. I was home all day. It's like, are you sure you were home all day? It's like, yeah, I was home. My sister's in the other room with her babies. The door to the drawing room flies open without warning. Artos draws his sword immediately. The sharp-eyed brown-tail guards raise their weapons too and stand in front of Ratos.
I take it you've already discussed the incidents that occurred today. I came for the same reason, and I've reached certain conclusions. Please stand down.
Seeing that Artos has sheathed his sword, Ratos raises a hand and her guards hesitantly back off.
Good timing, Antiotus. With the leaders of clans Pale Roche and Silver Ash both present, we demand a thorough audit of Clan Browntail's documents and cooperation from Clan Browntail in the investigation.
Sir, oh my goodness. He is so hot-headed. I want his daughter to return to bonk him. Please, bonk your dad.
Sir Arktosh. I'm sorry, Arktosh, but I don't assent to the demand. What? Why would Ratos want to get rid of us? Assassinating the heads of the other two clans at the moment would only cause even more chaos. Clan Pelroche has the most warriors, while Clan Silverash runs Carolin trade. Ratos could not hope to keep the situation under control if you and I both died in an accident. Meanwhile, retribution would be swift and harsh. Am I right?
Ratos avoids Antiochus' gaze and nods lightly.
That doesn't explain why Clan Browntail wasn't attacked. Maybe a coincidence, maybe bad timing. Maybe the attackers had something planned for Browntails too, but we just don't know about it. You won't convince me with that talk of coincidences, Antiochus. Who would have done such a thing if not Ratos?
There's plenty of other people, dude.
This is not a question we can solve in a short time. Don't forget that there are plenty of people looking to take advantage of the chaos and take a piece of Shrek for themselves. This assassination coincided with the arrival of Victorian aid. The mastermind wants to keep us from working together. The Victorians did this? They are potential suspects, as any foreign politician who attempts to intervene at this juncture. Therefore, I would like to maintain the status quo of our previous meeting. I will continue to handle all external affairs, including those involving Victoria. I will discover the truth for Clan Pelroche, for the peace of the three clans, and for Encia. I'll trust you one last time.
Humph.
Don't you dare look smug, Ratos. You got lucky today. You can thank Enciotus and Sirius. If it turns out you're behind all this, after all, you'll get what's coming to you.
I don't think she was the one who did this, dude. The sturdy Ursus slams the table, then turns and leaves. Thank you for calming that maniac down, Antiochus. But I'm exhausted. I'm sure you understand how tiring it is to deal with baseless accusations. If you suspect me and want to question me,
There's no need for that. Trust between the three clans has never been more important than now. I have other urgent matters to attend to. I'll take my leave.
Pardon me for not seeing you out.
Enzi wasn't hurt. You can rest easy. I was the one they're after. Obviously, the accident was very likely staged. They targeted your car without knowing who was inside. Something's not right. It's too forward. It's as though the people behind this want to make the point that they have no qualms about deploying extreme measures. They're trying to sow chaos and suspicion. The act itself is more important than the result. There's another possibility. Perhaps it's not me, Encia, or Arktosh, whom they're truly after. There'll be trouble in the mountains. It's Enya they're after? If anything happens to the scientists at this point, it will serve to affirm that all conspiracy theories and drag further into a quagmire. I need you to protect Enya, Dagenbreaker. Enya set out a long time ago. I can't promise anything. You need to prepare for the worst. I believe in Enya. You believe. And you will not provide any of your basis for that belief to reassure me, like you usually do? Correct. I believe.
Exactly. It's like, you knew her for so many years, Arctos. What are the priorities? It's like, sheesh, Arctos. Even Google's like, Arctos is about to do something stupid. Please stop him. Please bonk him for me. Like, I know I'm pretty bad, but he's worse. Hopefully Arctos doesn't do anything bad, though. Like, he doesn't mean harm, necessarily, but he's just a bit too extreme. Man, poor Rattatos. She gets all this blame, and then she has to just, of course, deal with it. Work things out with her clan stuff, and then also be a good auntie to her sister and the kids. The twins. I want to see the twins already. Please, Oak, Barry, I want you to show up. If Oak and Barry don't show up at all, I'm gonna be sad. I want to be nosy. I want to see them. Dress up the babies. So it's gonna be fun seeing Breaker show up to help protect Enya. I believe in you, Breaker. And heck, I believe in Enya too. She's survived so far. Ha ha ha. Sheesh though. So much has happened already. And it's only been up to stage 3. Sheesh. Yep, some progress is good. And let's look at a little preview for Conjoined Lives. We put aside our differences and the conflicts of the past and walk hand in hand towards the same future. And that sounds nice. And I'm just seeing what kind of things I can farm now. Wow, I can farm this, or this. Decisions, all the same price. Yeah, I'll just continue farming the first one at least. Ta-da! Woohoo! Yay for progress. I'm excited to see what happens next. But for now, I'll be good. I'll have a little snack and stuff before some Godzilla. Woohoo! Hopefully the construction won't be too loud tomorrow. So And with that being said, thank you for stopping by the stream. I hope everyone has a great rest of the day at the Gacha Luck. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye. I need more Gacha Luck. I want to summon both. Give me the silver ashes, please.